Blessings to you. Welcome and hello, my dear Virgo friends. I know some of you are actually celebrating your birthday this month in August. So happy birthday to those of you who are. Welcome to Inner Landscapes at Enchanted Evening. I am doing Virgo's monthly tarot for August 2018. I did get messages before I lay out the cards and before I forget. I did get some initial messages from your divine team and from the creator for you. And it's really just a couple, and they're pretty, well, one is pretty simple. The first one is not so simple. Maybe it is to you, but to me, I really didn't get a true understanding of it, but it's really my job to translate it or relay it just as I see it, just as it is given to me, and it's really more for you to make sense of, because it may have meaning to you where it has none to me. And it may not have meaning to you now, but it may down the road. So that's why you're asked to just kind of tuck it somewhere in your pocket or in the back of your mind if it doesn't make sense for you right now. Eventually, it will. There may be other missing pieces to the puzzle at this point in time. So what they showed me for you is, I don't know if it's for one of you or small group of you or a larger at-whole group of you, but they showed me you guys sending paper airplanes off into the sunset, flying paper airplanes off into the sunset. I should say maybe launching. You know how you kind of have to give it a certain flip of your wrist for it to actually sail. It shows me you guys doing that off and sending your paper airplanes off that you made by hand with little sheets of notebook paper off into the sunset, off into a setting sun. The one thing that I did notice is that each of these, and there's several, because I see several of you doing this. That's why I said I don't know if it's one person out of you guys maybe doing this with their family or a group of friends, or how many of you, or if this is really just a suggestion or something that's not to be taken literally but more figuratively. That I'm not sure. That's for you guys to take as you will. But what was interesting was that on these pieces of paper that were made into paper, folded into paper airplanes, they had writing on them. And I wasn't able to read them individually, but I was given the sense that the writing that you guys had on there was writing things that you wanted to let go of onto these sheets of paper, it looked like notebook paper, and then just creating paper airplanes out of them and flying them right into the sunset. So the biggest sense that I picked up on this whole scenario is that if there isn't a group of you that has done some type of ritual like this, like a good releasing and letting go ritual to release certain things from your life, then it may be a suggestion for you guys to create a ritual somewhat like this. Because they're showing with this, they're showing and giving me that there's a lot to let go of. A lot for you Virgos to release. A lot's been going on for you on all levels, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. And you're at the point where you need to start paying attention to, well, okay, now you've processed pretty much, if not all of it, a lot of it. Now it's time to after the processing, it's time to let it go and release. That's what they want you to know. So again, take that scene of the paper airplanes, whatever way you are guided to take it, but they definitely wanted me to give that to you. So that was the first one. Second one was easier, in my opinion, and pretty straightforward. They are showing me that this month in particular, you would do really well. They kind of show me there's like a mess that's being made. And usually you would think, like, if there's a mess intentionally being made, that it's by kids. But no, I'm seeing these as you guys doing this as adults. That you, as you are, whatever age you are, you're not children, whatever age you are, you're intentionally making a mess. And I do think this is a suggestion. I don't think you guys are intentionally doing that at this point or have done that. But it's like they're asking you or suggesting that you intentionally make a mess. And the mess that they're showing me is like, what's that stuff called? Like whipped cream, for instance. Or that's more what it looks like. It looks like that whipped stuff, like meringue, whipped, like the stuff from meringue pie. If you get a lemon meringue type of pie, the meringue part, where it's gloppy and, you know, it kind of looks like it could be whipped cream, but it's a gloppy, gelatinous mess. And they show me you guys like taking scoopfuls of this gloppy mess that looks like meringue or whipped cream or something like that, and just kind of piling it, making one big glop on the bottom. I don't know if it's on the ground or on a table, but it's something as neat as like putting it on a plate. It's really messy. They show me you just creating an intentional mess. They show me you just taking this huge glop, plopping it down, and then taking a huge ice cream scoop or even your hand and just plopping another pile right of that meringue or that glop right on top of the first pile you did, and you're continuing to like make a mountain out of it, like almost like you're building a meringue dessert, but you have no intention of it. Your intention is to make a big mess. And they're suggesting that you do something of this nature. And they're also saying, when you do, have fun. Do it, make the mess, and enjoy the mess. That is their message for you. And I'm assuming it's because of the reputation that Virgos have in general. The typical characterization of Virgos is that they're very meticulous, they're very, mindful of being, clean, neat, not really cutting corners, just doing things as much as possible by the book so that they get it right. No messes. They like aesthetics. They're saying, especially after everything you've gone through, and now I'm understanding, I'm just now in this moment getting it. They've just given you, with the first airplane example and now this mess example, they've just given you two good ways to release. So not only is the first example, the airplane example, a way that they would like you to release, there's another way to release, which is this making a big mess. Because this month, I'm getting the impression that this month for you is about release. Last month, I don't remember what it was about, but I'm assuming it had to do with some processing of what you were going through in some way, shape, or form. But now, they really want you to let go and release. There's no better way to do that than letting your inner kid out to play. And those two ways are two perfect examples. You can take them verbatim and do them if you like, or you can take them as examples of how to. But they want you to do both of those things in some way, shape, or form this month, because they are actual physical ways and representations of releasing these energies that you've been processing from your body, from every aspect of your body, mentally, emotionally, physically, etc. It's a very good release. And it's not saying that it'll clean up the entire release process overnight, but it's a very good motivator and starter, initiator of the release process that you need to go through and get back to your full, healthful self, whole self. Okay, so those are the first two messages, are the messages that they have for you in regards to your month this month, Virgos. Also, I do want to mention that I have a new spread that I'm just going to do and see how it goes. I may bring back my old spread. I may do it in conjunction sometimes with my old spread, but for this month I am just going to do this new spread, which I like to call the life aspect spread, and you'll see why when I lay it out. But let me go ahead. I got the messages, the initial messages out for you. Let me go ahead, and I did pre-shuffle these, so I'll just need a moment to get the energies back into these cards and lay out the spread for you, and then we'll talk some more after I'm done reading you the spread, doing your reading. Okay, so just give me a moment. Okay. Move that over. Yep. Okay, and just 1 second. Okay. So, and I probably will, well, let's just see. So, the first card I have for you all, Virgos, is titled Six of Spring. All right. This card talks to me, excuse me, about your health, your overall health for this month. And this is telling me very clearly that you all are in charge of your health. And that whether you are realizing that consciously or not, that you are taking charge of your health. Especially this month. With everything that's going on, I think you're paying extra attention to your health, and that's why they're showing me that you are taking charge of it, that you realize that it's in your hands, that you have control over your health, the health aspect of your life. And by that, by control over your health, they mean that your health is dependent upon how you are doing mentally and how you're doing emotionally, because eventually how you're doing and feeling, how you're doing mentally, what you're thinking and what you're feeling emotionally will show up in the form of your physical health. So they're showing me that you're taking, whether you know that that's how it works or not, that those areas flow into each other, goes from mental to emotional and then into your physical, either as health or as an area where you're stuck or fall ill. And right now they're showing me that you are taking charge because you are being proactive with your mental health and your emotional health, so that it doesn't bleed into you physically, something showing up unwanted physically. So that's the way they mean by you are taking charge, and that you are the one that's in charge of your health. So health-wise, beautiful. I show some actual bright spots for you health-wise this month, so it's good. Now, next card is called Three of Winter. And this is referring to your romantic love life, Virgos. You've been through some things. You've got some memories of things that have happened to you recently and in the further, remote past, that have really taken some deep jabs at you. There's a broken heart that you're nursing, but I don't feel that is the hurts that you've suffered. I don't feel that they're hurting you as much anymore. know if it's that you've detached from them, but I have a feeling it's that you're going through your grieving process. You're doing this the healthy route, is what I feel like. Yes, you have some sadness, some suffering, some loss, some grievances, heartache, essentially. But they're showing me, and I think this relates back to your health card. That's why you're doing so well physically this month, because you're processing this so well. You really are. And as I mentioned, now that I'm thinking about it, back in the initial messages, it did come across that you were, you had been processing things. And that if you aren't complete, you soon will be done in processing them. And that's why your divine team gave you those 2 release methods as being the next stage in your journey to becoming whole again within yourself. So even though this shows up that there is hurt, there has been hurt in your love life, I feel like you're doing and have done a really good job at processing and healing and even protecting yourself, not walling your heart off. I hope that's not the direction that some of you may have gone in. If there are any of these, and I feel like if there are any, they're far and few between that have walled themselves off or, blockaded their heart. If there are any of you that has done that, you'll soon find out that you're going to have to go back and restart the healing process. So you might as well get to work on unblockading that aspect of yourself. But for the rest of you, I see you really learning how to properly guard your heart, not, wall it off, but how to protect it in a healthy way, how to discern and how to not give it away to those who will not care for it, to not share it with those who will not care for it. You're being very protective in that way. Not that you won't share it, but just that you are being more discerning with how and whom you share it with. Okay, so hold on just a second. Okay. Now, next, we have the Empress card. Excuse me. This is telling me that regarding other relationships, meaning like besides romantic relationships, friends, family, others you may care about, this month, they're actually, those other relationships are on very fertile ground. They're going to flourish is what I'm seeing. They're really in a good way. They're really, what's the way I want to put it? You're traveling on a good road with other relationships. They're really going to be flourishing. They're on the right path. And the reason that this is so is because of what you've learned actually in your romantic relationships, the heartache that you learned about the hard way there, that you now, as I mentioned, have a better understanding of how to deal with your heart, how to protect it in the right way, in a beneficial way for you, that still allows, others in that are willing to care for it, and to protect it when it does need protecting from others. So that's what they're showing me here, that you know, even in your family and friend circle, you know who to give the key to your heart to and who not to. That's why they're showing that these relationships, the other relationships in your life this month, are going to begin to flourish more than they have likely ever before, because of your newfound knowledge of how to handle your heart, how to deal with yourself in relationships with other people. So that's good. Family and friends, you're actually getting on a better road, a better path with. Okay? Next card is titled Five of Winter. And okay, this shows me that this month there's some, do I want to call it battle of the wits, in relation to your finances. You're going through some battles, or maybe even mind games, in relation to your finances. There's a fight, essentially, with someone else or other people, or ideas of other people in regards to your finances. But I'm showing that you actually do come out on top, because you're not willing to back down as far as your as far as what you perceive the way your finances should be. What's yours is yours type of deal, and you don't back down, is what I'm seeing here. So I don't know if it's that the others you're in this, maybe, I want to say arbitration. I don't know why, but I want to say arbitration with, if it's that they just give up and walk away, or they just give up for now, and let you have this win. But regardless, this month is a victory for you in regards to your finances, but not, it's only after an arduous, a pretty hefty battle of the wits, I want to say again. So finances, you've had to protect those as well. It looks like you're learning how to protect different areas of yourself, of your life, and that you're winning at that this month. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but you are mastering the art of taking care of yourself, of knowing how to properly and healthfully take care of yourself. Okay. All right. Next card is the Four of Summer. And this card, someone is coming back to you. And this is relating to your work life. Someone is coming back to you with an offer or a deal or something along those lines, but they're actually pleading in some way, shape, or form with you. This could be a partner. I don't know it, but what this does show is that you are having none of it. You're very set in whatever decision it is that you have come to, and you want none of what it is that they're offering. You're set on this decision and not giving in to their requests or their offers, and you're very stubborn in this decision. And I don't show that as a bad thing. I show that as you being tied to your own sense of security. you being tied to your own sense of value. And so you're not budging in that area, no matter how sweet the deal or the offer or the request is presented to you. So that's not a bad thing either. I really see you guys having to fight or really put your foot down. Let's not say fight, even though some of it is turning out that way, but really draw your line of demarcation and let it be known to everyone, no matter who they are, that it's not to be crossed. This line is not to be crossed. Thus far and no further is how you protect yourself in all aspects of your life, I'm seeing. Which leads us to the final card here, which is the Emperor. And this shows me exactly what we were talking about just now and in the rest of the reading. You finally figuring out and mastering how to set your boundaries. That's the word I'm really looking for. Really hold those boundaries no matter what, because they are important to you, even if they are not important to those you relate with. That you have finally mastered that. You may have, in some other areas of your life, maybe more material, outward things, you may have had a pretty decent handle on certain boundaries and setting yourself up for some level of success. You may have had good luck with that and good mastery of that in the past, or some level of mastery of that previously. But what it's showing here that you didn't have mastery of is protecting yourself, meaning who you are on the inside, protecting your heart, your feelings, your ideas, etc. But this card, the Emperor here, is showing me that you have finally stepped into mastery of your outer world as well as your inner world. You notice here that this Emperor is holding his own heart in his hand, in one hand, and in the other hand he holds the world. This is true mastery. He's become in charge of his inner world, his emotions, his feelings, as well as his outer material world. Because this card shows me what's going on spiritually with you Virgos. That's what's going on for you this month. This is what you've mastered this month. And if you haven't just yet, just today, this is where you're heading this month. This mastery, this level of mastery. That is beautiful and amazing. And I didn't even need to use clarification cards, which is wonderful too. So, my dear Virgos, that is your August reading. But what I would also like to mention as far as news is that I am now doing daily guidance calendars for each sign. So for instance, there's a daily guidance calendar, 30 or 31 day, whatever number of days it is in the month, day calendar with daily guidance for Virgos. There's a daily guidance calendar for Leos. There's one for Scorpio. Every single sign has a daily calendar guide, and I do have about a week's preview calendar that's just for a few bucks. I don't remember if it's $3 or $5, but I do have that available for this month, August. If you would like to sample that, get the preview of that. It's a small amount just to see if it's something you would like. Because I won't be doing the weekly readings anymore. It'll just be between the calendars and your monthly readings. So, and also what I would like to mention, so if you would like that, the preview, that will be, I'll put that, the link to that in the description box below, or you can email me as well. But there's also, so if you do get the preview and you decide you would like to get the full 30 plus day calendar, all you need to do is let me know, because it's on demand. I create them as needed on demand, and they're usually, the turnaround is usually a day or two. So you let me know you would like a daily guidance counselor for the month for your sign, and in addition to the preview, you'll get the rest of the month. And yeah, you would just, it's on demand, like I said, just let me know, and then it's made, and you usually receive it digitally, emailed to you within a day or two after your order. Anyway, so I've been doing that for a little while now. I figured I'd let you guys know. Again, if you're interested in that, all the details will be in the description box below. Oh, the other part, I knew there was something else I was forgetting. The other part is, as a special birthday gift for each sign, when it is that sign's birthday month, when I do the monthly readings, I will also give in that monthly reading video for the sign. As a special happy birthday, you will be getting a free, I think it's usually about a week's preview of the calendar will be sent to you, and information on, how to get all of that will be included in that birthday signs monthly tarot reading. So those are the only time I will be giving away free calendar previews of, like I said, about a week's worth of daily guidance. Other than that, if you don't want to wait for a year to get your free calendar of guidance for daily guidance, then you can either do the preview, which just gives you a few days or about a week, or you can purchase the month. Again, details are below, and that is the end of my announcement for this month. All right, so I hope you guys like the changes, and again, I may go back to my original reading spread from time to time. We'll just see whatever works. You guys can let me know what you prefer and what you like. All right, so blessings, Virgo. It looks like such a good month for you. Just release, release, release. Focus on release. All right, take care.